It's time to get these gardens ready for winter and put to bed. Hey folks, welcome back to the Rock and Sea Homestead. My name is Lance. I want to welcome you to our channel. So today we're going to put a couple more of our raised garden beds to bed for winter. And we have one that we've already finished up. There's a garlic video that we put on and we kind of talked about what we did with our garlic. We finished planting all of our garlic. If you guys want to see that video, I'll put a link up here. You guys check that out. We have one garden or one little raised bed that still has some lettuce growing in it. So we thought they was all dead just because we've had such cold temperatures here in Oklahoma, but we've been able to figure that out and actually save a little bit of it. So some of it's still there. The cold temperatures did take quite a bit of it, but there's some that has made it, and we're going to kind of see how long or if we can keep that alive and well. But we have a couple beds over here that need to be taken care of, and we need to get these covered up and prep for winter. So this is a very important process for your health of your raised garden beds. And as you can see, ours are very, very high off the ground. So this is our first year of really gardening this method. So we want to really take really good care of the soil. We have this loaded down with super soil, but we don't want to lose any of those nutrients and some of the good minerals that are in the soil right now throughout the winter, because once it rains and it gets cold and it snows, some of those nutrients will leach out of the garden. So we want to kind of help protect it and cover that up, and we're going to show you how we're doing it. So the first thing we got to do, at least on this bed here, is we got to take off all the protective stuff that we try to put on it to save it during some of our cold snaps we've had here in the fall, and then rip out any of the fall garden that's left over. As you can see, we couldn't protect it very well just because it just is what it was, and it got really, really cold here really early in Oklahoma. So we're just going to take this out, and there's a lot of water in here. There we go. And then we just need to cut this stuff out, wet it all tied up, these beans. And then we'll get everything ripped out, and then we'll start covering up the ground. Oh, there we go. So now, since I got all of the old plants out of here, I'm just going to kind of turn over the soil, probably about 3 or 4 or 5 inches deep. Just kind of turn it over, make sure that we get everything else out of it that may be roots or those kind of things. Plus, it kind of helps break down any kind of trail systems that maybe slugs or any other kind of critters may have in the dirt, and it kind of helps prevent some of those things to grow and live on throughout the winter. So we're going to kind of turn this over, and then we'll get to the next step. So we got this all dug up, and you can see there's still a lot of great soil in here. This is part of our super soil mixture that we mixed up earlier in the year. And it's still, there's probably 10 inches of it in this bed. And you can see the bed's way more than 10 inches. But how we kind of built the bed, when we first started out, we put big logs for probably about inch and a foot and a half, almost 2 feet. And then we put limb debris, leaves, all those kind of things. And then we got some compost from our city compost, and we put it in to probably about another, probably about that deep with the wood. And then after that, we came in and put our super soil in, and you can see how much things have settled even as they are. And next year we'll probably have to put another kind of top dressing of super soil, mix it all in. But what we're going to do now is we have some compost that's probably 95% done. We're going to bring it in, put it over here, and then on top of that, we're going to put some of this ground cloth over it, seal it up. So it will get a little bit of rain, but it won't get a lot. And it'll just help protect it throughout the winter. But a couple things that I wanted to show you guys. So when we were digging it up, these were part of the old tomato plants that I pulled out. Now again, I've seen where some people say these things should come out. Some say leave them in the ground to break down and give you some biomass back into the soil. We're pulling them out. Leave us some comments down below. Should I leave them in or should I take them out? At this point, I'm leaving them out, but I'll know next time. So leave me some comments, I'd appreciate that. All right, so we're over here in our compost area, and I have 3 separate sections, 3 different kind of levels of doneness on the compost. This is our most fresh, active composting. Right here it has a lot of our chicken stuff from our chicken coops and our goat pen areas. It's still pretty warm. So when I say pretty warm, the stuff in it is still pretty active, I should say. I don't know if that's the right word or not, but it's a little too warm to go into the bed at this point. So we have this area over here that's been cooking and been composting probably for about 6 to 8 months right now. So it's about 95% done. There's still a little bit of material in here that's not broken down, but I think it'll be broken down by the time that we start next spring. So that's what we're going to put in the beds, and we'll just incorporate that with all the other soil. And we do have some dirt over here that's fully composted, ready to go, but we're going to mainly focus on this one today, get that over there in the beds and put those things to rest for the winter. All right, so we've got a load of compost dumped in, and we're just going to kind of spread it out. I'm not worried about any of the leaves that are in here, but if there's any big branches or sticks, those kind of things, those are the things I want to move out. And we're only going to cover this up about 2 or 3 inches, just to make sure that it's getting nice and covered. And you can see how some of it still has some stuff to break down still. Some of the hay, it doesn't break down as fast as some of the other stuff that we put in there. But that's okay. It's going to have all winter now just to sit here and bake and break down. All right, so we have our little plastic ground covering. And what we're going to do is we're just going to lay this over the top. We're going to cut it, and then we're just going to staple it as tight as we can. So water will kind of rest on here, and it'll drip through, but it's not going to be a real hardcore rain hitting it all the time. And it still allows some airflow to get in there, but it'll protect it from anything else. So we just got to get this thing cut. All right, so this raised bed is finished. It's ready for winter, and it's long 3 or 4 month nap. But as you can see, we when we covered this up, we did cut some of the excess off, and we burnt the edges. If you ever worked with this stuff, it's just woven little plastic pieces, so it kind of threads out, and it kind of, I don't know the right term for it, but when you burn it just like you would like a nylon rope, it just kind of helps seal those edges. Then we just kind of tucked it around, made it look pretty so there wouldn't be any flapping when the wind blows. Here in Oklahoma, we get quite a bit of wind, and it just makes it look nicer since this is in our front yard. But now we just got one more to do, and then we're done. Well, we are all finished up. As you can see, both of these beds are ready for winter. We got them covered. They're good to go. We don't have to worry about them. And really, I think it looks pretty good. So, thumbs up for us. Way, good job, Marcy. But guys, thanks for coming along, watching our videos. If you haven't joined our journey here at the Rock and Sea Homestead, there's a subscribe button right down here. Click that button, ring that bell so you get notified every time we put out a video. And if you haven't seen us on Instagram or Facebook, the links are down below. We'd love for you to come check us out there. But from our homestead to yours, have a blessed day, and we'll catch you on the next video. Bye.